Hey everybody, it is Kulipup here again, and tonight we are going through fears. I've posted on in the Frequency 51 group. I've also posted on my page and so forth as well, my profiles. So this is a collective of all of the questions, or sorry, the fears that were stated by new members or members of the group, and of course people who do follow me. Now, my goal in this session is to help you understand where your fears are coming from. Because when you understand where your fears are coming from, and you address these fears, you can stop them in their tracks. Hi Jessica, sweetheart. Hi Catherine. Hi Ruby. I hope you guys are well. I'm like all totally padded up today, to be honest with you, so I'm gonna do this. I've been having one of those inner work days where I do like a lot of inner work myself, and I like to be cozy on those days. Anywho, let's get started. So I'm gonna go through what I see here, and if I miss anything, or if you have any comments that you want to make, or if you have any fears that you feel that I haven't been addressed or you want to go through, then we'll do this. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I'm actually going through a period where I'm completely not having anything on my vessel, so no chemicals whatsoever, and I now shouldn't have any hair gel, so you're gonna see a little poof. I know, I'm so raining. I'm just like, oh, I just want cuddles. But I know I'll get cuddles from everyone, so it's good. Hi, Brittany, sweetheart. Hi, Brittany. Right. So, shall we get started? Now, I'm not going to try to do any sort of name dropping or anything like that. But I will, if I do, I'm sorry. I don't mean to name drop. But I will go through these as best as I can. So, one of the very first things that I saw, or one of the very first comments, and this comes from my page, being left behind because I can't get past my greatest obstacle, which is myself. Now, I'm also going to type with some of these as well, because I'm also trying to make transcripts of everything that I'm saying so that we could eventually put it in a book for you. So you don't have to catch me live and you have it there. So, when you have the fear of being left behind because you cannot get over yourself, what does that truly mean? Well, to me that instigates that you have a fear of your own heart. You have a fear of your own self, right? Because when we look into our hearts, we find that there is nothing but truth and nothing but comfort. And so we find that full trust in ourselves. And when I say when we look into our hearts, I mean when we really connect to ourselves. Because at the end of the day, there is nobody that is going to love you more than you will love yourself. There is nobody who is going to know you better than you know yourself. Unless it's me. Sorry. So there's going to be no one who is going to know you better than yourself. And when you understand that nobody will love you better than you love yourself, then you also understand that yourself will never hurt you, will never harm you. And you can have full trust in yourself. So if you are scared that you're being left behind, it's because you haven't truly discovered the love that you have within your heart for your own self. So of course, what I'm going to say is, and we can all say it with me now, inner work. That's what we need, inner work. You got to learn to love yourself. When you love yourself, you realize that you are not an obstacle, that you are your greatest power in achieving what you want in your life, right? So stop fearing your heart. Brittany, you've said fear of rejection. You know what, Brittany? I have another comment that is actually very, very similar to this one, so I'm going to get to that one a little bit later, so please stay right there or come back in a little bit, and we'll sort that part out. Now, Pamela, oh shit, sorry. I'm not supposed to say names. Sorry. Well, mind you, Pamela does it say. So, Pamela says one of her fears are letting go of Pamela. Fear of losing who I was. Now, this is really a comment for an individual who is shedding their ego, or is in the process of shedding their ego, right? Because when she says fear of letting go of Pamela, well, she's not really Pamela, she's Lucaust, right? And when you have, hi Catherine C, when you have this fear of losing your ego, you are fearing fear itself, right? Because your heart is who you truly are. Your higher self, your higher consciousness, that is truly who you are. So when you have this feeling of fear of losing or of letting go of your ego, that's not your fear you're actually feeling. That's the fear of your ego. Because your ego knows once your ego dies, there is no fear, right? There is no pain, there is no suffering, because your higher self, your higher consciousness, your spirit knows that there is no pain and that there is no suffering once you shed your ego. Your ego is the only person that fears. And your ego is your conscious entity, the one that causes confusion, that feeds your subconscious, which causes more pain and suffering in order to feed off of the negative energy from you. So when you are letting go of Pamela, you are physically letting go of fear. So there is nothing to fear but fear itself. So, Jessica, you say, it's interesting to me that we are taught empathy and learn emotions and behaviors, but other than personal self-care, no one ever really talks about or teaches self-love. It makes me wonder how I can show this to my children. Ah, very, very good, very good. You know what I do? So I'm going to give you my own personal experience on this. Because we are in a place in my household, we do nothing but teach self-love, teach understanding of yourself, and to be strong in yourself. So how we do that is every time I see my daughter and I see that she is around, I will tell her, you are so beautiful. Things that are common within society that would tell her otherwise, because we are a melanated family. My daughter, she has a shape like mine. We have big butts and big thighs, right? And it's just it's part of our natural shape. So of course, when she goes to school and she is around other children who have a much leaner body type, it makes her feel larger, right? And she's not. She's beautiful. She's perfect the way she is and in her development. So me knowing this and my husband knowing this too, Lip Up, we continually tell her, you are beautiful. But we also tell her, you know what? We tell her, you know what makes you beautiful, Kamaya? Because that's her name, Kamaya. Well, her actual name is Liline, but you know, she's 10, so we're not causing confusion anywhere. But we will tell her, it's like, you know, you are beautiful. Look at your skin tone, your hue, it's magnificent. You know, when she is creative, when she tells us about her premonitions and her astral projections, we listen intently. We don't brush it off as an imagination or not real. We listen and we speak to her and we encourage her within this. And we tell her, you know what, that was a message from Liline. You know, oh, this is that part of your ability. Love yourself. You're doing so wonderfully. Keep going. Right? That's how we teach self-love. Through encouragement, recognizing who she is or who our children are, and encourage them to always be within themselves. So we guide. We don't, as parents, we don't force our opinions or our views on our children. We literally guide them into being who they are and supporting them when they are following their heart's content. And I tell you this, my kids are really, really considerate because of it. They really are. They go out to the store and just be like, I want to get my parents something, and they bring us home chocolates and, you know, hugs, and, you know, we'll just come home to like just little cute gifts, and and lots of love and so forth, you know. So it really, really helps when you have your child want to feel that acceptance of who they truly are from you. Okay, I've talked a lot about that one. So Jessica, you say, great comment, Lucas. That was a concern of mine too at one point. Thanks for this one. Yes, of course, of letting go of the ego. Jessica, you say, that's understandable. Much of my family is melanated, olive and thicker, and had to boost confidence in them. That's great. And that's a challenge for me explaining abilities to my oldest girl. I appreciate your input. Oh yeah, of course, of course. And again, that is something I definitely need to do. I need to do a video on how to address children so that they understand that what they are feeling is perfectly normal, it's perfectly natural, and that they can develop into it. And especially for the young empaths who are feeling all of the negative energy and they don't know where it's coming from. You know, when you have kids who just all of a sudden are very, very distraught, very reclusive, and they shut themselves in because they don't want to talk to anybody, and it's because they're feeling the lies and the negativity, and they know it's false, and it turns them off. So instead of going outwards, they close themselves off. And it would be wonderful if all children would understand this process so that they know, hey, these aren't my emotions that I need to be bogged down with. They're of another individual. It's part of my superpowers. Anywho, I will get to that video. So, onwards in our comments, in our quest here, we have another comment that says, loving the wrong person because I see them different. Wouldn't say a fear, but need guidance, and I want to help the world, not a fear, just struggle with the balance. I forget me in all I do. I forget me in all I do. I help and I love to help. Okay. So, with that, that is rose-fogged goggles. Okay? It's true. It's a little bit of a fear because the fear comes from acknowledging that you understand that you see people differently, right? You understand that you may be seeing or you may be painting a picture of rose petals when really there's a pile of shit underneath, right? So that is the fear because you are aware of it. Now, advice for this, how we can get over this. Well, of course I'm going to say following your heart, because your heart knows the truth. If you were to listen to your heart, you would know that if this is a person is how you truly feel them to be versus who they truly are. However, if you're unable to listen to your heart at the moment because you're still clearing out negativity within you, how to do this, loving the wrong person because I see them differently. You need to start seeing people the way you see yourself, though, right? This is an effect of not loving yourself. Because just think about it. If you are painting a picture of roses over this individual, and you're fearful that you're painting that picture, it's because you know you have something inside you that is reaching, that is looking, that is yearning. And this individual may have one of the qualities that you've been yearning for. Because they have one, you're then clouding over everything else, right? Because they have this quality. And that quality fills something in your heart, which then lets you paint a certain picture of them. When really, if you didn't have this missing in your heart, if you fully loved your heart and it was just so full of love for yourself, you wouldn't be missing anything. So if you're not missing anything, then you don't have any paint to cloud over this individual. You will see them for who they are and what they are, right? Because when you love yourself, you know what love is. And then you know what love isn't at the same time. So look inside. Look inside, find yourself, fill up those holes with love and clear out all the negativity, and you will have nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing to fear. Okay. So, next comment that I see. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Sorry. Next comment, because remember, I'm not name dropping on anything. I'm not name dropping. I feel stuck at every creative I try. I try writing and I throw it away. I tried painting today. I spent 2 hours painting, ended up hating it, painted over it, then got depressed. So, I feel stuck at everything creative. And this is one of the things, when we are following our hearts, when we are following what we want to do, when we are following our true selves, we tend to want to be creative. Because what is the first part of the word creative? It is create. Right? You are creators. We are all creators. We create our own world in everything we do. And when we are creating, we are using our imagination. We are using our spirits, our hearts, our vessels, just to experience what we have created. So of course, we are going to have an urge to create as we are waking up. Now, you can't find it. You are literally like, I'm trying to find my heart. I'm trying to find this creative streak in me. Where is it? All that shows to me, and then you get depressed, is that you are suppressing yourself. Okay? The thing about listening to your heart is you have to be clear. Your heart's song, your heart's vibration is on a highway, right? And in order to get to it, your highway has to be clear. Now, if you think of negativity, negativity is your traffic jam, okay? And the negativity comes by through all the issues that you go through every day. So on your highway of enlightenment, creativity, and enjoyment and discovering yourself, if you have a traffic jam because you've not cleared away this traffic, you've not allowed it to flow, every negative instance that comes in, another car gets put in. Another car, another car, another car, another car. And it's your job to literally, you're in control of all of these cars. It's your job to literally move them to the side by processing them, by addressing this car in front of you. You've got to address it and get it off of your road, right? When your road is clear, your creativity will flourish. You will find that it just flows right out of you. And it's because you can drive down that highway of life and find yourself, right? So, in answer to that particular fear or statement there, to stop this from happening, do your inner work. Clear your cars away from your highway so you can stop this traffic jam, all right? Discover yourself, discover your heart, and you'll find you'll flow. Oh, Susan, it's just finding something that you enjoy. Look for other things. Well, that's exactly it. But mind you, finding what you want to enjoy involves looking inside yourself and actually discovering it, right? So that's what you got to do. You got to know yourself. You got to know what you like, what you don't like. What you're good at, what you're not good at, what you may want to develop versus what you're like, that's fine. I don't really need to spend that time on that one. So, yeah. But Susan, you're absolutely right. When you have found it, though, it comes so easily. So there we go. So suppression of emotions on that one. Jessica, to me, the song of the heart is the frequency of the spirit. Exactly. Jessica, that is exactly it. If you literally calm yourself, put yourself into a meditative state, and you focus by just stating, what does my frequency sound like? And just wait, and keep that in your mind, keep that in your focus. What does my frequency feel like? What does it sound like? Right? And you are physically, the longer you keep your focus on it, you are going to start to feel a feeling generate inside you. That is the song of your heart. That is your vibration. That is what it makes. Your name is how it sounds, right? The feeling is what your name is. So again, I'll explain this a little bit in detail. I've been checking out for the spirits that are closest to me, that are around me all the time. I of course check them out, and I'm like, what does their frequency feel like? What does the song of their heart feel like? My Kulipup, he is, because he's my twin, his frequency to me is the fire. It's my core. It is literally, he generates. He is the spark of energy that generates feeling. So it's a very, very deep, deep, deep feeling that I get when I think of my Kulipup. Also, when I focus on his frequency, not only do I get this feeling, and it is a very deep love feeling as well, that is ignited, right? My feeling of love is very, 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 very high. And some of you would have felt that over this weekend. You would have felt a very strong vibration of, ooh, or maybe some very, very like tingles just go all over your body. Sorry, not all over your body, but all over your chest. Just like, oh, like, ooh, little chills every now and then, or just this flush of tingle. And that is me. That is my name you're feeling, right? But when you focus on your own, you'll discover other things. Like my name, if you focus on my frequency, try it when you're meditating tonight. Just think of me and try to connect to my frequency. And if you are clairsentient, what you may find is sniff and just be like, what does Kulipup smell like? What does my name smell like? And it should smell like springtime breeze and a little bit of flowers. Lucaust, Pamela. Lucaust basically smells like peaches and cream and has a very, very strong feeling of passion in Lucaust. And it's beautiful. Maria, I thought it was heartburn. Well, yes, I guess you can feel that, because it can be very intense if you are a lower frequency. For me, I suppose because I'm high frequency, it just feels like a flutter, right? But I know that for some people, if you're a lower frequency than me, it can hit you pretty hard depending on how connected you are. So it's pretty intense. But I know what you mean, because when I concentrate on healing with my hands get very, very hot. Very, very hot as I push my light through it. And, sorry, I was kind of having one of those, screw you, subconscious, open my heart, bah! I'm gonna pop salt mankind with so much freaking love energy that you're gonna freaking die. So I was kind of having one of those moments as well. So, yes, it's really cool. So I'm glad you guys are experiencing it and feeling it. And don't get me wrong, when I go through really, really strong updates or frequency increases that I know are going to make you really tired, I will post it and I will tell you, hey, this is going to be a day where you should rest, all right, or take it easy because you're going to be a little tired. You guys might feel a little tired over the next few days as well. Okay, onwards. So the next one, and this is, you may recognize this one because I believe you are watching, my sweet. My fear is for help. Oh my God, I hate asking to be rejected or said no, not being understood, and I'm scared I waste too much time and I don't complete what I start. Oh, Maria, yes, you said, but what I also felt was heat from my head. Yeah, your crown. You're getting energy pumped through. You're being expanded. Every time I have a frequency increase, I connect that directly to you. So you are going to expand. Every time that happens, your consciousness will open up more so your spirit can then enter your vessel. And you can become more enlightened, right? And vibrate at this level on a constant basis, not just a temporary one. So, yeah, heat on your head. You may feel a swirling on your crown. You may feel, ringing in your ears, pressure on your forehead, definitely feelings in your heart, or in your, sorry, my cat is just like, love me! Yes, sweetheart, come here. So you're going to feel a lot of things. Hi, Nicole, sweetheart. Welcome. But don't worry. If you embrace these things, and I know some people, when they start feeling them, they immediately go, oh my gosh, I need to protect myself. It must be something terrible. But it's not, I promise you. If you come out feeling good, and if you come out with a ringing in your ears, and so forth, these are all good things. So embrace them and accept them, right? I know, she's going to be here. Ruby, that may explain my long name. Yes. Yep. If you are a crown holder, you can expect a mad frequency upgrade. So expect your name to get longer. And trust me, my name is now, I don't even know how many lines it is. It's like 87 lines. I can't say that. I'm sitting there for like 10 minutes saying my name. I can't do that. So I say it through feeling now. And that's what I'm going to suggest that all the crown holders do, is just literally really connect to your heart, connect to that feeling. Because saying your name out loud in your head is just like, holy crap, it's going to get real tedious real quick. And if you make some mistakes pronouncing it, you got to start all over again. It's like, oh, Jesus. So now, oh, wonderful. Nancy, you say, oh boy, that fear comment can be applying to me. I had a low energy weekend and feel awesome and getting stronger. Wonderful. Excellent, my sweet. This is it, right? This is the evolution, right? As we are all together, we are all linked, and we are all raising with each other as long as our minds are open to the expansion. So, shoot, let's get more energy in here, right? Rodonov, yes. Sorry, I'm not going to say everybody's Rodonov Atenganoa Haha Ostasasotes. You know, it's long, and it's only going to get longer. But this is Jessica, of course. That's the name I got during my meditation, and my spirit seems to have a very deep voice. Yeah, right? Yeah. Tally Nat, sweetie, hi. Oh, sweetheart, thank you. This is my inner work day, too. Like, I'm all like, clearing out everything. So thank you, sweetie. Okay, sorry. Let's get back on to this question. So I'll repeat that one because we got a little sidetracked. My fear is for help. Oh my God, I hate asking to be rejected or said no. Not being understood and scared to waste too much time, and I don't complete what I started. So what do I do with that? What is the fear with this one? Maria, yes, you're very welcome. Fear of your heart, my dear. That is what that is. You don't trust or like your heart's desires and needs because it goes against all the social norms and programming that has been done to you. Okay? So I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. Your fear is for help. You don't want to ask because you don't want to be rejected or said no to, because that rejection hurts, right? Not being understood, again, rejection. Scared you're wasting somebody's time. That's the fear of rejection, because you're like, I don't even want to go here because I'm so scared that, you're not going to like me, or, you're not going to complete it, or you're going to fail. Failure. And so that, again, is fear of your heart, right? When you trust yourself and you trust what your heart wants, then you don't care about asking for help, because you're like, no, I need this information. It is more important than the fear of rejection, because it's like, I know I'm awesome. When you discuss, and I tell you this with every, okay, Shayla, you're getting warm now. I tell you, this is with absolutely everybody, okay? Absolutely everybody. If you have a heart, sorry. If you have a heart, okay? If you have a soul, if you have a source fractal, there is nothing not to like about yourself. And not only that, there is nothing not to love about yourself, okay? Your source fractal is love. Your heart is love. There is nothing not to love about love, right? And when you discover that, and you discover the organization and the self-organization through free flow that love provides, you don't fear it. So if your heart desires something, let's say your heart desires you to quit work and explore the land and travel because that's what feels good to you. You fear this because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't want to ask for help because your heart continually says, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to follow this. And you continually stop doing that because you don't trust that what you are being called to follow is going to be in your best interest. And if you don't trust what you're about to follow, which is based on your heart, that means you don't trust the truth. You don't trust yourself, which is the truth. All right? So learning to trust yourself will lead you to getting over this fear of rejection. Because if you love yourself, you don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. I really mean that. Jesus. Sorry. This cat is just like, love me. Okay, come on then. Come on. Sorry. Sorry. So that is what it is. That is what it is. So it's the fear of going against social norms, fear of that kind of rejection, right? Thank you, sweetheart. Talinat, you say, when I get my crown, is that when I learn my name? Like I know it's a process and open my heart from this. Maybe I'm scared. Talinat, no. Learning your name is definitely a process. It totally is a process. Now, I know I've given a lot of people their names. I've given a lot of people their names. But now is the time that I need to teach people how to find this for themselves. And how you find your name truly is through questioning. You can do it two ways. You can do two ways, really. You can choose to go through the initial way I did, which is getting your pendulum, right? Getting your pendulum and really... The thing is, to find my name, I had to be in... What was I? I was in at least a minimum frequency level of 8, I believe. About 7 or 8 or so forth. But I didn't find that out until I had literally cleaned my body. I did all the things. I did the grounding. I did the yoga. This is when getting to level 8 was actually really hard. Everybody seems to be flying there really quickly now. So when I got to level 8, that's when I had a really strong connection where I could ask my pendulum and get an accurate answer. And not only that, you know when your name is correct because you feel it, right? You are going to physically feel it when you speak it. Now, if you've got the right letters but the pronunciation is off, that does make a difference. So you don't automatically get your name when you get your crown, but you do need to know your name in order to get your crown, if you put it that way. Because in order to claim your crown, you need to know that you are a divine being. You need to have woken up. You need to be like, oh shoot, I'm Kulipup. I'm me. Let me claim my crown because I know I am divine. All right? So that's where we're going on that one. Sorry, I've missed some comments here. Let's get these. Let's get these going. So, tallying up, my sweet, it's not that you are in fear that is holding you back, but it is just general development. So don't really focus on your crown right now. Focus more so on doing your inner work, making sure your highway to life is clear and not a traffic jam, right? Take care of your body and take it seriously and expand your mind. And you'll find your name will come to you. Just like it has with some people, especially people who are, Kat, you are really, really hot. Sorry, you guys, I am now really warm because my cat was on me for so long. So yes, do the development and your name will come. Like I was saying, some people in meditation are just like, hey, my name's extended. I feel it. I know it. And I'm just like, yeah, that's right. Because it comes to you. Okay. Nancy, you say, wow, how did we ever stop loving ourselves? Programming. You know, and And I'll tell you something. The programming that has been done to you is the exact same way your subconscious attacks your brain, attacks your mind. If you think of the subconscious, it's very, very sly, very sly. The conscious and the subconscious, they kind of sneak in there. They drop a few breadcrumbs, right? That you don't even notice. You go along with life and thinking everything's fine, and those breadcrumbs become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you're in the frickin' gingerbread house and you're just like, and you're trapped in that damn oven, and the witches wandering around, and you're like, how did I get here? How did I get here? I was fine. I was out in the woods. I was a little hungry. I noticed a breadcrumb, and then I moved on, and then I looked around, and then I noticed another breadcrumb, and all of a sudden I'm in a bloody gingerbread house and I can't get out. That is how the manipulation has been done upon you, to stop you from loving yourself, to disconnect you from your heart. Right? And not only that, but the knowledge of how to connect with your heart has been eradicated and kept occult during the last few centuries or thousands of years, because the powers that be understand that if you know this, you will love yourself. And when you love yourself, you become yourself. And when you become yourself, you are within your power, and you are no longer susceptible to slavery or to be manipulated or be lied to. Right? And if you can't be manipulated or lied to, then there is no 1%. There is no evil. There is no negativity, because you are whole in your heart. And when you're whole in your heart, you don't want negativity. So, there we go on that one. Hi, Iris. Okay. So, Maria, sorry, I know I'm shaking this. Maria, you say, my mother always tried making me feel guilty for my walk. That's one reason I know I stopped loving me. Yeah. See, this is another thing. Parental systems. Your parents were raised in a certain way. Their parents were raised in a certain way. Each generation has been programmed, just like a breadcrumb, right? Each generation has been programmed to not love themselves. So when you are born into a family or into parents who do not know how to love themselves, all they are going to teach you is how to hate yourself. Or if not how to hate yourself, you don't know how to discover who you truly are. So then the cycle continues. You grow up not knowing who you are, being confused, being lost, having emotions of compassion and love, yet the world just looks so dark. So you get hurt a lot, and so the cycle perpetuates itself. So yeah, we're all on that path to self-discovery. Oh, yeah, Nicole, my cat does feel love. She feels the vibes. Whenever I'm doing these kind of things, when I'm speaking to people, I speak from my heart, and she gets on me like crazy. Or Kay, you say, I've tried finding my name, but I keep getting different names. Yeah, that's because of the confusion. Your subconscious and your conscious entity don't want you to find your name. Okay? So if you keep getting different answers, it means that you need to stop focusing on it and focus on quieting your mind. Focus on finding out who you're speaking to first, or who is speaking to you. Because when you know who's speaking to you, you know who to listen to and who not to listen to, right? Because you know, like, you're my subconscious, whatever you say is bullshit, so I'm not going to even talk to you. Versus when your heart speaks to you, you not only get the thoughts, but you get the feeling to go with it. The subconscious cannot generate any feeling besides fear within you. So if you get a feeling of love inside you, that means you are speaking to your spirit, you're speaking to your heart. So watch out for that, right? So when you're finding your name, if you're getting feelings of love in your heart whilst you're getting those letters, those are going to be more likely to be the more accurate letters. But if you feel nothing, and you're just getting thoughts fed to you, then you're going to need to strengthen your connection, sweetheart. Iris, you say, I would never ever find out my name alone. You could. Don't ever limit yourself. Finding your name is not as difficult as you think it is. It's only as difficult as you think it is. So if you think it's hella difficult, then it's going to be hella difficult. If you think finding your name is easy, then it's gonna come really fast to you. All you have to do is sit, quiet your mind, and chill out. Chill out so you can get the messages coming through. Tally Nat, you say, I think I'm an 8, could be wrong. Well, if you're above 6, you definitely got to give it a go. Okay. Oops, sorry. Maria, you say, it's important for me to break this. Oh my God, she is so right, because I actively cheerlead my kiddos all day long. That's good. Okay, oh, we need to know our name first before getting our crown? Yes, definitely. Definitely. Gaining your crown is literally like claiming your birthright. But you can't claim your birthright if you don't know about it. Right? You have to claim your frequency. You have to know it and understand it and feel it. But if you don't know your frequency, your crown won't activate. So you can have it right there. But if you can't put it on and activate it, it's not going to work. And the only way you activate it is by knowing your frequency, by knowing your name. Whether you do it through feeling or whether you do it verbally, right? Either way, if you do it verbally, you're saying it verbally so you can activate the feeling. But either way, you've got to definitely do that. Tally Nat, you say, definitely. I think that's where I'm at right now. Like every piece of knowledge is snowballing. Right? One thing after another thing after another, and then you're like, oh my gosh, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Right? And it can be really overwhelming. So just be sure to always step back and take a break and get out of your head sometimes, okay? Remember that life is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to live it in enjoyment. You're supposed to live it following your heart, and your heart is only love. So you're supposed to only live in love. You're not supposed to live in fear and pain and suffering. Yes, we go through these things to learn a lesson, but we're not supposed to live in them. All right? It's supposed to be a passing moment, not a lifetime. All right? So just remember that. Remember to take a step back and just be like, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want and know it feels good to me today. If it doesn't make me feel good, I ain't doing it. Right? Okay. Reba, you say, is it effective to cast a spell every day to send that bugger in flames? Yeah. Yeah. You have to do this in order to eradicate it, because it's like a game of chess. It makes a move, you make a move. It makes a move, you make a move. But however, it is like a game of chess. You have to remember the moves that have been made so that you can find and understand what it's going to try to do next so you can counter it. This is why I say when you get into the higher frequencies, you have to have your wits about you. You have to be able to notice, acknowledge, find the pattern that your subconscious is trying to make so you can stop it and create patterns of love and light rather than of fear and negativity. Right? So use your crown. It's not just there to manifest all the wonderful things that you want in your life. It is there for your defense also. Okay? Your mind is your greatest weapon. Your crown helps you to focus your power, focus your weapon, right? And your spell is the trigger. So that's what you got to think about. Okay. Tally Nat, I've had guilt trips, advice against my own happiness, projecting others' problems onto me, etc. Yeah. Tally Nat, this is exactly what it is, right? I've had guilt trips, advice against my own happiness, projecting others' problems onto me. Oh, shit. This is the part about not trusting yourself where that comes from, sweetheart. Right? And I'm not trying to be big-headed, but I don't take the advice of anybody unless my heart is good for it. I take the advice of my heart because I know my heart is truth. I know my heart wants only the best and betterment of myself and will always only want the betterment of myself. So if I ever have an issue where I'm like, which direction do I take? I don't look outside. I don't ask nobody else, because nobody else's opinion is going to be more valid than my own in my journey in life. Why am I taking somebody else's opinion? They're not paying my bills. They're not coming over and holding my hand through it. Well, for one, I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't need that. But it's my life, it's my journey, and it's my responsibility. So I follow my heart. When you start following your heart and trusting in your heart, in your vibrational frequency, which is the highest of love, and it's so bloody kick-ass, you will find that you will not go against your own happiness. Others' problems will not be able to be projected onto you because you will reject them. Right? So, sweetheart, trust yourself. Jessica, my mama always used to say that, do what makes your heart whole. Do she also called me her heart, always the speech she gave to a significant other too. Makes so much more sense now. I think I should spend some time with her soon. Yeah, you may do that. You may get the call and urge to spend time with family members that you haven't spent time with. Because for one, it's the harvest period going on. But you're going to start to resonate. Things are going to start to resonate. So pull yourself towards this positivity. Right? Maria, you say, my mom and I don't have a good ship for her. Always critical, never encouraging. You know what, Maria? Say good day to you then. Yeah, that's right. I don't care if she's your mother. I don't care if she's your auntie. I don't care if she's been your best friend since you popped out of the vagina. Right? I don't care. If an individual, whether they are related to you by blood or not, if they are causing you harm, if they are criticizing you, filling you with negativity, then you simply cut them out of your life. And you cut them out until you are either strong enough to combat that negativity and know that, you know what, whatever you say won't affect me because your opinion does not bother me, right? Or you just say, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is another programming thing. You've been programmed to believe that family over everything. You know, just think about it. Really think about this. You have been programmed generation after generation to have lack of self-love. There is so much internal abuse that goes on through families, right? How many people can truly say, you know what? My childhood was the best I ever had. My parents taught me to love myself. My parents taught me to always follow my heart and my dreams. And it was just beautiful. I couldn't have had it any other way. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people that can say they have experienced this, which is wonderful. Which I'm like, bravo, because, you know, you are one of the lucky ones that has been able to avoid the programming. But let's face it, so many people are still stuck in that trap. So now, you have been in a socially organized program to help self-sabotage yourself. Yet, what is then programmed into you is family over everything. Loyalty for your family. You know what? Doesn't matter what goes on, but you'll always have family in your life. So you are encouraged to constantly stay with the individuals that cause you pain. Doesn't that sound like something a subconscious would do? A way to keep you in pain? Right? So just think about that. When you are dealing with family who cause you pain, if they do so and you're an adult and you don't have to associate with them, then simply stop. Simply stop associating with them until you are strong enough to either help them through their negativity or until you are strong enough to just be like, no, I don't want to. Right? But I know what you mean. Okay, I don't feel anything when I use my pendulum to find my name. Sweetheart, this is not something to be sad over. All this means is that you have more to discover. You have more to discover about yourself and that your journey still has miraculous things awaiting for it. Because I promise you, Orke, when you are focused, when you finally get through this period of development and you come out on top and you're like, I know my name. I felt my name. And then when it all becomes so real to you, do you know what power you will gain just from that epiphany that you will have. What that energy will do to drive you further in your development. Right? So never look at any of this as sadness. Don't look at it from a point of maybe I'm not doing very much, or maybe it just means you have more to discover. So all you need to do is focus and discover it. This is a beautiful thing. Okay. Iris, you missed the crown part. Oh, don't worry. You can rewatch this afterwards or go onto my YouTube channel. I have 3 videos on there. I think I have 3. It's either 2 or 3 videos on what is your crown of glory and how to activate it as well. So please head over to my YouTube channel if you'd like to have a look at that. All right. Tally Knight, you said, girl, trust. I try. It doesn't work. So much negativity here. Sweetheart, it does work. It really, really does. But you have to have a perspective shift. If it's not working right now, it means that you, and sorry, we're talking about being bombarded with other people's negativity and having their stuff just being thrown at you. If it doesn't work for you, it just means that you need to raise your frequency because you're still vibing on a lower level in here that is stopping you from propelling forward. So clear it out. Clear it out. Because I promise you, when you find your strength, when you find that perspective, you really don't give a rat's ass about negativity. It puts you off and it disgusts you. And you would literally rather be alone in solitude than face this negativity. So that's why you have the strength to go, nope, I'm out. Peace, and you're away. So discover more of yourself. If this is still plaguing you, if this negativity is still plaguing you, discover yourself to clear it out so you can just get it out. Okay. Ah, bless you. Oh, Angela, my love, you say, I love listening to you. Made's my day. Oh, I'm happy. I think my grandpa is going to pass away before this coming weekend. I am feeling what I think is fear for those that will remain here after he passes. Some are very old and don't understand death. That it's okay. I want to be the family's healing hands, but I'm afraid I don't have the energy or ability to protect my energy. Will my energy be drained if I'm here to help heal and love them? That depends. That depends. I think it depends on whether they're asking for your energy or whether you're just freely giving it. Right? If you are giving your energy without it being asked for, do expect for your energy to go. Okay? However, if they have asked for it, meaning if they've asked you to come and if they are encouraging of your words, they want you to be there, not just for formality, not just for a formality like you should be here because that's your grandpa, but because they know you are special to them and that you're offering something more. If that's the case, then give your energy as it will be returned back to you. However, if that's not the case, and they are rejecting you, then simply don't. Just don't. You can go and you pay your respects and they will do what they're going to do, because we all have to remember the harvest period is going on. There's going to be a lot of people who do need healing, but it's up to themselves first to understand that they need healing and for them to seek being healed. That is when your energy is put forth to the greatest good, and you get the maximum benefit or return back for it, is if you are healing somebody who wants to be healed. Trying to heal somebody that doesn't want to be healed, that just drains you right out, because there's no payoff for it. Absolutely no payoff. So I hope that helps, sweetie. So let's have a look here. Yes. Oh, you know what? Sorry. We were supposed to be going through fears, and I'm here just going through comments. So let's go through a few more comments. Okay. Another comment I have here is being around people, not knowing if they are of darkness, of light, and being alone at night. Some nights I'll end up staying awake till the sun is up. Then I'm like, wow, that was stupid. Could have been sleeping. Yeah. For this one, when you are fearful of being around people because you don't know if they are of light or of darkness, you know, you don't know their character, you don't know if they're going to bring positivity to you or sadness. What that means is you are literally scared of fear. You are scared of negativity and what it brings. Because if you think about it, if you've been around people, it means that people have hurt you. They have really hurt your heart. So much so that you are now guarding your heart from everybody. You're guarding it from the world, right? And because nighttime brings lack of light, which is lack of sight. You don't see in the dark. You are alone in the dark, right? And when you're alone in the dark, it puts you in a place of confusion, right? And feeling of loss. Also, if people have hurt you, it also feels like a place of abandonment, okay? So if you are fearful of the dark, you are fearful of being alone and you are fearful of being lost. And again, and with some people, it can lead to fear of being abandoned. So that's why they always want the lights on, because they don't know what's around them, right? Because negativity is heavy, it weighs heavy, and it produces such horrible feelings. So to get over this one, you need to do the inner work to clear your heart, right? You need to go through why these people hurt you before and your fear of people. When you can get rid of your fear of people, the dark doesn't really seem as bad, okay? Because you know that there's nothing to fear from the negativity itself, because you know how to conquer that negativity. So that's what I can say in terms of that one, and I hope you sleep well. Next one. Being controlled by others. The fear of being controlled by others. What that tells me is that's fear of losing control of yourself. Losing control of your soul and your heart. Right? Because what is your heart? Your heart is what you want you to do. Your heart is who you are. Your heart is your passions. Your heart is your desires. Because those feel good. Right? Your true self. So when you are putting up a wall between others because you fear they're taking your control, that's because you fear of loss of control of yourself. Perhaps you've given too much of your control, too much of your power away, and you've just started to regain it. So now you're just like, no, never again will you take this from me. Right? But the thing is, we shouldn't fear being controlled by others, because we are ourselves. We govern ourselves. We are adults. We know who we are. We control every aspect of our life. And when we stop victimizing ourselves, and when we take back our control, and when we say, you know what? You can't control me because I do not give you permission to control me. Because I know who I am. I know I'm a grown-ass woman. You can't tell me what to do if it's not right with my heart, right? So take your control back by never giving your power away, never being the victim. If something bothers you and it goes against your heart, correct it in that moment. Sometimes that means strength. Sometimes that means standing up for yourself in that moment and just saying no. Dealing with those horrible feelings of social anxiety that you may get that come along with it. But simply going, no, I don't allow this. I do not consent. You know? Because I know what's good for me. So you can't control me. Only me can control me. So I hope that one helps. Next one. Oh, sorry. Let me go up a little bit. Oh, wonderful. Nancy, you just said, I feel at peace in the dark. Is that weird? No, of course not. Not at all. Some people are very connected with the moon. Darkness for me, I don't mind being in the dark. For one, because I don't have any fear of the dark. I use it as a time of solitude. You know, as a time to get rid of all of the external distraction, you know, lights and so forth and visions, and connect with myself and go inside myself. So There's nothing weird at all about not being fearful of the dark. It can bring you solitude. Now, if you're fearful of the light, though, that's something else, because that means you are scared of your heart. So, the next one, not following my path. Okay. If you are scared that you're not following the right path, that means you are scared or you are lost in stagnation. Okay? If you are not on the right path, it means you're going around in circles. You try one avenue, it doesn't work, so you got to go right back around. You try another avenue, that doesn't work. Another path, it didn't work, so you go right back around. And you always come back to the same spot. And if you're always coming around to the same spot, that literally means you are stagnant. So fear of not being on your correct path is literally fear of stagnation, of not moving and not going. And if you're not moving and you're not going, and the world is going past you, that leads in fear of failure too, right? Because if you don't have a path to follow, then you're purposeless. You need to fulfill your purpose. You need to follow and you need to keep moving forward. So when you're not on your right path, you feel lost. If that's the case, all you need to do is stay within your now moment, right? And listen to yourself and put one foot in front of the other. Because if you do that, if you stay within the present moment, meaning you're not thinking off into the future, which is just a thought, and you're not off thinking about things in the past because that's just a memory, because again, a thought and a memory don't lead to anything, right? You need to stay in your now moment right now to put one foot in front of the other. And that is how you get out of stagnation. That is how you get out of this feeling of being lost. So following what feels good to you in this now moment, presently. If you do that, I guarantee you will find your path, whether you're looking for it or not. It will find you, right? So, bear that in mind. Right. Ooh. Sorry. A little fly just, I was like, ugh. Okay. Next one. Oh, there you are, you little bastard. Sorry. Next one. The fear of meeting new people. If you're scared of meeting new people, there's a fear. If your fear is meeting new people, it simply means that you have a lack of self-acceptance because you fear you're not good enough for these people. You fear their opinion of you is not going to match up with the opinion of yourself, or you're hoping that their opinion of you is much higher than your opinion of yourself. And so when you have somebody else's opinion that is, if they think very highly of you, that then fills your own need for self-acceptance. The thing is, though, the more you don't accept yourself, the more you seek acceptance from other people. And the thing is, if you are scared of that acceptance from other people, it just means that you're literally, you think so poorly of yourself that you don't think other people are going to like you or accept you. Right? So how to get over this? Inner work and love yourself. And this blasted fly, they just love me. That sounds terrible. I don't want to make it seem like flies love me, but they don't. But when there's one in the room, it really likes it. Okay. Iris, you've asked, how to overcome the fear of death? I know it's only the body dying, and I even had a near-death experience. Getting over the fear of death comes when you literally connect to yourself. The fear of death comes from the fear of your subconscious and conscious ego. Your ego is the one that fears death because your ego is the one that truly dies. Your spirit is immortal. So when you find your higher self, when you raise your frequency and become more of who you are, that fear of death leaves you because you know you've never died before. It is only your ego, your conscious and subconscious egos that die. They have no more life. So Iris Ulrich will die. But who you are inside? Nah. Armish, I believe. Armish will not die. Right? Never died before. So you're okay. I do have a video on death. I would really, really recommend you watch it so that you can understand the process of how it feels when you die. Because when you know what's coming, when you understand it, the fear leaves you, right? Because we only fear the unknown. And when you know what's going to happen, you don't fear it. You just plan for the consequence, right? Jessica, there have been flies everywhere lately. Not sure why. The weather, the weather manipulation, it's too hot, it's too dry, things start sprouting early, it's just the smog, the trash, everything is being messed with, and it's creating a disbalance within the ecosystems. But this is the harvest period, right? Everything will find balance. It will, so we just gotta wait. Hello, Kelsey. Wonderful. Okay, so next one. I fear everything. I know I have a lot to give, but I'm afraid I won't do good enough to give people healing. Ah. You fear everything. Oh, and of course the response to that was, you're a beautiful heart, and your kind words have healed me already in our short conversations. You need not worry, you're so much more than you may realize. That was, of course, the comment to this comment that was on there. And absolutely lovely. And you're absolutely right, you know. When you fear everything, I know I have a lot to give, but I'm afraid I won't do good enough to give people healing. That is a fear that again, comes from lack of self-trust. Okay? It's the same kind of trust that you have in yourself, that you know that, hey, if I stand up, I trust my legs because I know my legs are not going to fall over, right? So I can walk, and I can teach other people how to walk because I know how to walk, and I trust in myself, right? I know that one foot in front of the other will equal me moving. When you trust in yourself, and you trust in your healing, when you trust in your ability and you trust in your gift, you know what's going to happen. Okay? And when you know what's going to happen, there's nothing to stop you from completing it. So again, the fear is irrelevant. It doesn't have any standing. If you know yourself and you trust yourself, there's nothing to fear, because there's not going to be an alternative, right? It was one of those things where when I was training people and coaching people, because again, I used to work in HR and training and development, right? Because again, always wanting to be a teacher, but never finding my place. And I always went to the big companies because, anyway. So one of the things I would always have to do is I would always have to coach and guide people in how to have confidence in the words that they speak. And when I coach them into having that confidence, into projecting their voice in a certain way, in a certain tone. Because I was always like, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it, how you connect to another individual, right? And all I ever found was, as soon as they started to project themselves with that confidence and trust in themselves, because for one, I would sit them down, I'd be like, okay, watch me do this. And I would demonstrate for them. I would speak, and I would speak in the confidence I know I have, and I would produce a result every single time. And so I'm like, you try it. Just trust in yourself. Speak in confidence, and they would have success. Right? And I trained some of the best teams that produce some of the best results out there, only because I taught them to trust in themselves. So this is what I'm going to tell you, my sweetheart. Trust in yourself. Look at the evidence of what you have achieved. Look at what we have. Your beautiful heart and kind words have healed me already in our short conversations. That is evidence and a testament to your skill and your ability. Now, if you have evidence that is in a positive light, then why wouldn't you trust yourself? You've proven it. You've proved it worked. So go on and keep doing it. And just know that you'll only get better, right? Hi, Hazel, sweetheart. Nice for you to join us. Welcome. Okay. So let's have a look here. Next comment we have, fear of not being good enough for my husband. My thoughts have been battling lately and I am so confused. I can't take much more of my husband's emotional, verbal abuse. I tried to talk to him, but he doesn't listen nor understands. I'm torn because I feel like I need to leave, but then Hope comes in and says to give him a chance. If you can give me any guidance, that would be very much appreciated. Yeah, let's see with that. When you fear you're not good enough, it's because you fear your own self. You have been told you are, in some way or another, it doesn't have to be directly like this, but you have at one point been told you are worthless. You have been criticized for your actions. You have spoken your truth and you have been shut right back down because of it, right? You have continually looked outside for your answers, and because those answers weren't based off of truth, it's caused confusion, right? Not being good enough for your husband. Well, I would say this to you, right? What makes your husband good enough for you? And remember that, or say, this can be added to your partner. Let's say, what makes you believe your partner is good enough for you? We always, whenever we're in a relationship and we have emotional or verbal abuse that goes on, right? That means that you are taking abuse. You are taking it. So if you are being abused, why would you worry if you are good enough for this person who is beating on you, whether that be physically or emotionally? Well, emotionally and verbally. If somebody is taking those knives, which are their words and their emotions and their energy that they project, and is continually throwing them at you, which is cutting you down, it hits you in your heart and you're just like blow after blow after blow after blow, right? Why the hell are you worried if you are good enough for an individual that is causing you so much harm? So, switch your perspective. Say, what does he do for me? Or what do they do for me? How does my partner build me up and makes me a better person? How does this person make me whole? You know? How does this person make me more confident? What do they do for me? Because I can tell you this much. When you have a kind heart and a kind soul, when somebody gives unto you, you automatically give back to them. Tell me I'm wrong. Come on, tell me I'm wrong. How many empaths, how many source fractals, how many beings of light are watching this right now? And you tell me that if somebody does something nice for you, if somebody builds you up in some way, do you go turn around and then tell them to fuck off? Do you go around and try to beat them down and tell them that they're not worthy and they're terrible? Of course not. You recognize and appreciate the joy and the happiness that they are fulfilling within you, the development that they are giving you. And such, you act in turn. You build them up because they have always done it for you. Right? So if you have an individual that is making you feel like you are not good enough, then frankly, they are not good enough for you. Okay, so a little perspective change on that one. And of course, you're saying, I'm torn because I feel like I need to leave, but then Hope comes in and says to give him a chance. That's just because he's restocking his knives. This is what happens with people who are abusers and people who have been abused. When you are going through such abuse, you don't know how to process these feelings because you are trained to suppress the abuse to keep getting it, right? That's what you're programmed to do. Take abuse, suppress it, everything feels good. Then until the next wave of abuse comes on, suppress it, everything's good. Then the next wave of abuse comes on, suppress it, everything's good. And so the cycle continues, right? So shift your perspective. If this person isn't building you up, then what the shit are they good for? And trust me, I know people will always come out with, but, you know, we have good times, but we have children together, but we've built this, we have a house and a car and so forth. If that's what truly made you happy, then you wouldn't even be having an issue. If having a house and a car and children in a home with 2 parents is more important than your happiness, then we have nothing to complain about. We should have nothing to fear. We only fear when negativity hits us. And when negativity hits us, that is the call to action to change it so that we don't experience it again. So that we learn to put up that shield to stop that pattern. So I say, look at the pattern. Think clearly, right? If this is a continual pattern that has been going on for years, and you're not strong enough to change it right now, then don't stay in the pattern. Remove yourself from it. Get yourself well. If you want to revisit the relationship later when you're healthy, hey, that's your business, right? But right now, heal your heart first. Those wounds those daggers, those words, those emotions have been throwing into your heart, take them out, heal your heart so that you can be well. Because then you can, because what's the point of keeping children in a house that is full of negativity? They will only follow the programming that you are setting in place. You are setting your children up for negativity. You are setting your children up to receive abuse. Right? And we don't want to do that. So stop that pattern. Stop it. And just be like, if you are not good for my growth, then you are not good for me. Because my growth equals the growth of myself and my children. Right? Your children will see you grow, and thus they will grow in the same way. Right? They mimic. So there you go. I hope that guidance helps. You're very welcome. So let's move on. Oh, being led in the wrong direction. There is a fear of being led in the wrong direction. And again, that is the fear of the consequence of slavery. The consequence of not trusting yourself and living in your crown. Living in who you are in your being. Right? When you are fear of being led in the wrong direction, it is because you can see the bullshit, the lies that are out there, the lies that are life, that are within life right now. And it's the confusion. We fear the confusion because the truth is black and white. The truth doesn't have a gray area. The truth doesn't have any, well, what if this happens or what if that happens? No. The truth is either it is or it isn't. So again, there's no fear. You cannot be led down the wrong path if you are basing your actions on truth. Right? And the only way you find absolute truth, say it with me, you look into your heart. That is where truth is. It is not in the words of anybody else. You will only find truth when you feel your heart. Alright? That is how you know it's there. And once you find yourself and you find your heart, you don't have to be worried about being led in the wrong direction. That fear will go away because you always will be going in the right direction. Because you base your decisions on truth. It is just simply a consequence. Oh, Kelsey, I love you too, sweetie. I really do. Feel my heart, sweetheart. I love you. Okay. So, then we have fear. This is all from one individual. Fear of death, fear of being left alone, fear of rejection. We definitely covered a lot of these things. But of course, Fear of being left alone, though. So we've already covered kind of fear of being rejected by other people and not finding self-acceptance in yourself. And of course, the fear to die is just, again, when you get to your higher self, that fear automatically just goes away with your enlightenment, because you are enlightened. Your eyes are open to the truth, so there's nothing to fear. So, fear of being left alone, though. Okay, fear of being left alone. Or somebody leaving you. If you are dependent on another individual or individuals, it is again because you fear solitude. Now, what happens when you're in solitude? The only person you're with is yourself. But if yourself, your vessel, your heart is so full of negativity, looking inside can be scary as hell. It can be scary as hell because you've already experienced that pain and you've suppressed it and you never want to experience that pain again. So you are scared of looking where that pain is. But I tell you this, it has to be done. Because the longer you suppress it or ignore it and try to go elsewhere or look outside, that's when you are becoming dependent on other people. You know, and we all know these kinds of people, right? I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have an individual who is close to me who is very much so like this. You know, she's very, very caught in fear, but she's very, very caught in denial. Don't worry, it is nobody watching this at all, because I'm sure she will. I don't even think she does Facebook. So, but she's very, very, very fearful of her own self. So what she does is she speaks to every single person she can find. Like, I mean, anybody who is willing to stop for 5 seconds to speak to her, she will grab you and she will literally sit there and talk to you about anything under the sun except for development of herself. She'll talk about the weather, she'll talk about politics, she'll talk about cleaning, she'll talk about everything else. Any little surface mundane things, because she's so scared of going into herself. To truly tell you what she likes, to truly tell you who she is as a person, what are her strengths, what are her weaknesses, you know, what brings her such joy, like who is she really? She doesn't know. Because she's had so much pain in her heart that she can't look inside because she's so scared. So again, she relies on every single person. And when a person leaves her, it hurts. Because it's another rejection. She's already rejected her own heart. She's already rejected herself, self-rejection. And now somebody else is leaving. And that amplifies that feeling of rejection and pain. So, if you have a fear of being left alone, it's because you fear the pain of your own heart. Address it. Clear it. Process it. Feel it. You're going to feel a lot of the emotions again. You're going to feel it, so just process it. Once you have this out, you don't fear being alone, because you know that there is nothing to fear at all. Okay. Sorry, just double checking there. Alrighty. So we've got a couple more. I hope you're still going to be with me on this one. The next one we have here. I fear falling behind because I can't seem to get out of my own way, and I'm feeling I am blocking my own abilities because of my own fears. I'm feeling stuck, and I'm feeling afraid of not progressing to my fullest potential. I'm always afraid of focusing and wasting my time and energy on the wrong things. And I fear not accomplishing my goals, also bridges, deep water, heights, old houses or buildings, being at home alone at night. I live alone. See, what I see from this, now we've already, of course, discussed a few of these issues in other posts. But for this one, what I'm feeling more than anything is that you're living either too far in the future or too far in the past with this. So you fear the present moment. Okay? So what do I actually mean by this? Well, I fear falling behind. All right? That is, you're thinking in the future. You're thinking of all the things that you could do, all of the things that you could accomplish, but you fear falling behind. So, well, why would you fear falling behind if you're doing what you need to do right now in this moment? It's a progress. You're building, right? So how can you fall behind if you haven't made the first, so if you have made the steps and you're moving forward, right? So you're living in the future. I'm feeling stuck and I'm afraid of not progressing to my fullest potential, right? Same kind of thing, stagnation. If you're constantly living in the future, right? And you're thinking of all the wonderful things that are out there, the wonderful things that you don't have, it's one of those things where if only I could do this, if only I could do that, if only I had this, this would be better. If only this didn't affect me, if only I didn't have this illness, if only I didn't have this. You're living in the future, right? And you're not appreciating what you have right now. And if you live in the future, you forget what you have right now. And if you forget what you have right now, what you have right now are the tools for you to move, right? The tools where you know where you need to develop, where you need to, so that you can plan out where you're going to go. Or not plan out too much, but follow where you want to go. But you can't do that if you're in the future because you're stagnant. You're not putting one foot forward because your thoughts are somewhere else. They're not in this present moment. So, and when you are in this present moment, you can then focus because you're here. Because if you're trying to move and in order to move, you need to be in this present moment, but your mind is in the future, how will you move? How will you know to take this foot here and step it over there in order to get you to where you want to be? You can't because your focus is lost. So again, if you bring your focus back to this moment, you will find that your time and your energy will not be wasted because you are stepping in the right direction, right? Because your mind is clear. Now, and then by all means, you will then find that your goals will be accomplished. Now, bridges, deep water, heights, old houses or buildings, and being at home alone at night. Bridges, deep water, and heights, I would actually check out your past lives for that one. You never know what happens in those suckers that cause whoa. Because I know my lip up. In one of his past lives, in one of his most recent past lives, he was in World War I and he got bombed in London. And because he was bombed, his building collapsed and he fell out of a 7-story building. And he fell to his death and he broke his neck. And so of course he's got these issues with his neck. He's always popping his neck, right? And he has a horrible affliction to heights. He cannot stand heights because he's fell from heights, right? So deep water, heights, and old houses and buildings, I would definitely look into your past lives to see what correlation they have there, so that you're not carrying that fear forward. And being home alone at night. So that's fear of the darkness. Again, fear of the darkness is fear of negativity, is fear of being harmed, without knowing who's harming you. Again, being scared of yourself, right? Because when you know yourself and you know how much power you have, there's nothing to be scared of. Nothing can get you. Battery on my phone is dying on me. I'll rewatch the end later. Hope to hear the response on separation from the divine. Yes, we'll definitely have a look. I hope you come back to us. Manda. Oh, sorry, I'm not saying names. Sorry, my bad. I fear being independent, it seems, though I'm not sure why. When you fear independence, to fear independence is to fear being independent, is fearing taking responsibility. Because if you take responsibility for your actions, it means that whatever the outcome is going to happen, that means it's all on you. And that goes into lack of self-trust at the same time. So when you are fear of being in fear of being independent, that means you want others to take care of you, kind of like a mother to child or a parent to child scenario. You know, when you are in a child feeling or emotion, you want to be taken care of. You want the responsibility of making decisions to be taken away from you and given to somebody else. So when you are fearing your independence, it means that you are fearing taking full control. Because when you're in full control, you don't know where you're going to go. That means you can be lost. Because parents give their children direction. And when you're up to you directing yourself, it means that, again, you're going to have to take responsibility. So if I had a fear of independence, I've never had a fear of independence, so I can't give you a personal I can't give you a personal account, because every single time that I have been called to be independent, I was just like, woo, let's look at it as a challenge. It's a puzzle. I like games, clearly, because I've won one. But discover why you don't trust yourself, and you don't trust having this control that will be there for you, right? So again, that's my take on why. So I hope that helps, sweetheart. Do the inner work and trust yourself. Okay. Another one. We have fear of not being good enough for anyone. Always second guessing myself. Fear of heights and driving on overpasses. Fear of not retaining important information. Mental blocks. Now, fear of not being good enough for anyone. Again, that's lack of self-acceptance. Always second-guessing myself. Lack of trust. Fear of heights and driving on overpasses. Now, that depends. If this fear is more recent, it could be because that is how you were set to die in the harvest, is through either a height or a vehicle, perhaps. Because when we're going through the harvest, if we are stuck in fear and we're not raising our frequency to a high enough level, then we literally will call that upon us, ourselves. That's part of the harvest process. We will start to feel and have our own premonitions of how we are going to pass. However, if this isn't a recent thing and this has been like you've always had a fear of heights and driving over overpasses since you were, before 2012, then that again could be due to a past life issue. So I would look into that. Fear of not retaining important information, mental blocks. Again, this is where the lack of trust in ourselves comes from, my sweethearts. Lack of trust in ourselves. All of this, I cannot say it enough. When you trust yourself, you don't second guess. And when you follow your heart, you trust in yourself. Because you know it is of love, and it is of goodness, and it is of kindness. And it is of nothing but the best for you. Right? So you always trust yourself and do not trust the words of others. Well, sorry. You can trust in the words of others, because again, I don't want you to be like, I don't trust you, Kulipup, because of course I would hope that everybody does trust me, because I have only love in my heart for you. But you confirm with yourself. That's a better word. You confirm with yourself and you trust that confirmation that you've gotten. And that's what you base your decisions on. Right? Do that and you won't give a rat's ass whether you're good enough for anyone at all, because you're just like, I'm good enough for me. That's all I need. And you won't second guess yourself. And of course you'll raise frequency, and the retention of information will just become much, much easier as well. Okay. Right, so let's have a look here. I have this one. Fear of not being able to protect myself and my family from evil souls who have taken away everything and still not letting us live in peace. So fear of not being able to protect yourself and your family from evil souls. Now, if this is in the ethereal, if you feel like you need to protect yourself from literal negative energy, who, you know, feeling like you are cursed and that everything is being taken away from you and you're not living in peace. Well, that, my dear, is actually your own, it is a mirror reflection of what is inside your heart. Okay? If you find that people are taking from you and you are not getting anything, it is because you take from your heart and you don't give your heart back anything. Meaning you continually take from yourself whilst not giving your own self the appropriate care and time you need for rest, relaxation, and development of your soul. Okay? And trust me, when you start taking better care of yourself, when you start treating yourself the way you want to be, the way that you treat others, you will find that this will flip. Your mirror of your heart will be mirrored out to the universe, and you will find that you will increase the positivity that comes back to you, if only you have this positivity in your heart. Now, if you are saying you fear not being able to protect yourself or your family from evil people, when you say evil souls and you just mean actual people, it's pretty much the same thing, really. Evil people will take from you as long as you are willing to give it to them. Right? So all you need to do is just say no and stop. It's strength. You just have to be strong and say, no, I do not consent, and I will leave this here. Right. Let's have a look here. I hope I can find that one comment I was looking for. Yes. So this one was thought of one. My fear is separation from the divine, my spirit and all that is. There's been things that have happened in this incarnation that I wonder if they could be misunderstood. Though my heart has always been in it, I fear that I could never, and let's get that back up here, because I had that. Sorry, give me just a second, and I realized that I didn't get the last one. Okay, sorry, let me read this again. So, my fear is separation from the divine, my spirit and all that is. There's been things that have happened in this incarnation that I wonder if they could be understood. Though my heart has always been in it, and I fear that I could never truly be understood and loved because of these occurrences, and that I failed. Everything inside me says God won't judge. That's not its true nature. All this was known beforehand. But I don't want to be taken by the darkness, and separation from that pure love, I think, is my biggest fear. I know it would be unbearable as I feel it even now in this body. I just want to be my spirit here inside this vessel and regain that feeling. Wonderful. Wonderful. And sorry, bear with me one moment. Can you close your doors, please? Thank you. Sorry, my doves. Again, the children being loud. So, if you are fearing your separation from your spirit, that is literally, for one, this is hard. This is hard. That fear, that loss that you are feeling at that point is normally when you have elevated to a higher level. Okay? Because you've elevated, you understand the importance of your spirit. It also goes into the phrase, as above, so below. Right? And basically that means the higher you go, the harder you fall. Because you understand the consequences of it. When you've found yourself, when you've found your heart, that feeling of love is so strong, so immense, and it feels so good. So you understand that selling your soul, that losing your spirit, cannot happen. If you fear this, it is literally your subconscious and conscious minds triggering this within you. Okay? Because they want you to feel fear. They want you to feel it. And the closer you are to love, the harder it is to make you feel it. So they're going to trigger you from different angles. right? That was actually a fear that I had to go through whilst I was elevating. And what I did though was I used that fear to ensure that it would never happen. So how do you get over this? You make the solid intent that I don't give a shit what I have to do. I will never lose my spirit. And all you do is you make sure you do the development that requires you to stay on this path. Because it's like, once you start accelerating, you're going. Because you know that as soon as you stop, and if you do start to fall, it's going to be a long way back down. And it's going to hurt really hard. And when you finally cleared out all of that negativity, when you feel it again, if you ever feel negativity again, it's damn near unbearable. So just make the intent in your own mind and just say, I will never fall. I will never be taken. And you won't. Because you will not allow it. You will not consent to it. You will continually do what you need to do in order to keep your spirit with you. Because it's not difficult, you know. The only way that you will ever lose your spirit is if you succumb to the fear. And fear doesn't feel good. Fear feels terrible. So you have to literally fight through feeling terrible and getting so comfortable in it. It's literally like standing there and being punched in the face and welcoming the punches. But when you elevate, you're like, no, if you punch me in the face once, I'm just going to move. Because I don't want to feel that pain anymore. So don't fear that. That is literally your subconscious triggering these emotions, trying to get you to stop progressing where you need to be. So I don't want to say ignore it, but recognize it and move out the way. Right? Recognize the fear, acknowledge the fear, and how you move away is you just say, like, you know what? Never going to let it happen. I'm not going to let you punch me. I'm going to move out the way. Okay? And it won't. You'll be good. Okay. Alrighty. So let's have a look at the last one. Last question for tonight, unless anybody has any further fears that they would like to put on. Probably the fear that holds me back more than anything is fear of inadequacy and rejection. I take rejection very personally and I feel it deeply. Whether it be in the form of a failed relationship or being turned down for an opportunity I went for, it brings me so much pain, and the fear of this tends to prevent me from taking the chance. It keeps me from chasing that opportunity or from expressing feelings to someone. Oh, that is a fear. That is really because this fear of inadequacy and rejection is, again, not something that I haven't discussed before already, but again, it is the fear of yourself. It is the fear of self-acceptance. If you don't accept yourself, you fear the opinions of others. Right? If you don't accept yourself and love yourself for who you are, you get scared by opportunities before you've even started them. Right? And then what sucks, though, is that you go on in life living in this fear and then realizing that life has went by and you've not experienced anything. You've not experienced it because you've simply been crimped. Fear is a prison. It is nothing but a prison. And you keep yourself in your prison of safety because of fear when you don't accept yourself. So how do you get over this? Inner work. Inner work, inner work, inner work. You need to ask yourself why you don't love yourself. You need to ask yourself why you don't, for one, if you fear rejection, it's like, why do you even care about these people's opinion of you? Your opinion of yourself is the only opinion that matters, that has ever mattered to anybody but you. Right? Your opinion of you is the only opinion that matters. No, like as it pertains to yourself. Right? If you love yourself, who gives a shit who doesn't love you back? I love myself. And I know there's plenty of people who I'll give a reading to, or, well, I don't know if it's plenty. I don't get a lot of feedback, but I'm sure there are people out there who I'll give a reading to, and they will outright reject the truth. And because they reject the truth, because I can feel their fear, they reject my truth because they fear the consequences of the actions I'm telling them that their actions are leading to, right? So they fear the truth, and I know at that point they will tell me like, oh, you're false. You shouldn't tell people these things. You know, you're just scaring people. You're filling people with fear. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm helping them realize the consequences of their actions. And if they should fear those because of that, then it's like, that's what it is. But I don't give a rat's backside if they like me or not. I really don't. Don't care. So I don't fear rejection because I know what I'm saying is truthful. I know the information I'm putting out there does nothing but benefit individuals. So if somebody doesn't want to take that up, then it's like, okay, well, you don't like me, that's fine. Right? So there's no rejection when you're living in truth. Inadequacy. You will not feel inadequacy if you understand your capabilities, if you understand yourself. If you've looked inside your heart and you've looked inside yourself, why would you fear of being inadequate? Because you know what you do. I know what my capabilities are. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. Cake. I know all of these things. Trust me, my greatest strength is love, but it's also one of those things I get all, when I'm in love, I can, oh gosh, show me a baby with those cute cheeks and I'll be like, oh, I'll take you home, I love you. You know, that kind of thing. So greatest strength, the greatest distraction is my love. But literally, if you know your capabilities, you do not fear inadequacy because you know you are perfectly adequate in what you are trying to achieve and what you are trying to accomplish, right? And then, when these things happen, you don't take it personally. Because you're just like, I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know I love myself, so I don't care about your opinion. So if you don't like me, I don't give a shit. And I'll say what I say. I'll do what I say because I know I can do it. So again, that can be applied to anything and everything, right? That can be applied to relationships. So if you're going into a new relationship and you fear being rejected from that person, well, if you love yourself, then that person's going to love you. And you're not going to feel that rejection. Because if they don't love you, you're not going to be with them. Because you're like, I don't allow anybody to treat me any less than I treat myself. Right? Because I love me. Right? So again, you wipe that part off there. So if you love yourself, you will only attract another individual who will love you like you love yourself. So again, don't worry about a relationship. Being turned down for an opportunity I went for, you know. Again, if you are adequate, if you know and you are confident in your skills and your capabilities, then why do you believe you'll be turned down? And if you are turned down, then you'll know that it's not something you should take personally. That it's something that, well, this opportunity just wasn't for me. It wasn't my opportunity. Now let me open up to the other opportunities are there and walk on life and just be like, all right. Because you may have went for that opportunity, but the universe is just like, you know what, you're not even going to like this. So we're just going to push it to the side. And we're not even going to go down there. And so you may have just dodged a whole bullet. But if you are not going for that opportunity just because you feel you are inadequate, then you are turning down a possibility of the manifestation that the universe is trying to put forward to you. Right? And yeah, all this does is, this fear, all it does is bring pain. It brings pain and solitude because again, you fear of going outside of your comfort zone, of taking that step outside. And it can be so freaking difficult. So to get over that, do some inner work, connect with your heart, and learn about yourself. Emotions are going to come out. And this is going to be a very, very particular for a lot of men, specifically. The male population's emotions have been suppressed. You know, men don't cry. You know, you got to be a manly man. You can't be whipped by a woman. You know, all this kind of machoism and bullshit. So men can find it very, very difficult to connect with themselves, because I promise you, when you connect with yourself, you're going to cry. You're going to feel such emotion that will come out of you when you connect to yourself and when you connect to your heart. And when you start to cry, one of the main things that's going to happen is you're going to feel like it makes you weak. You're going to feel like these tears make you weak, and that's going to make you feel less than. But I tell you now, it doesn't make you weak. It only makes you stronger. Because when you can process out these feelings, these emotions of fear, which do come out in the form of crying, of anger, of frustration, of sadness, they come out of you through crying, right? Once that energetic emotion, that energy in motion, that emotion is out of you, you think clearly. And when you can think clearly, you can understand how to proceed in life, right? You can understand, you can connect to yourself, you can listen to your heart, because you are void of any negativity in there. And it's a beautiful thing. We have Catherine, last one, Catherine, you say, I fear for my family's well-being and success, especially when I don't know what's going on. Because you're living too far in the future, my sweetheart. You fear you're living in the future. You have an idea of what you want, of what you think is successful, but you don't have the tools you need right now to get that success. So you fear failure. All you need to do is stop living in the future. Focus right now. Is my family well off right now? Are they full of love? Are they full of kindness? Are they void of fear? You know, are they going through fear? Are they going through trauma of their heart? That's what you should focus on now. Because if you can ensure that your family is full of nothing but love, take the material out of it. Take away the big houses and the cars and the what we deem as success. If you can take that away, and if you can get your family to live in love right now in this moment, then the only outcome will be a successful future. And if the only outcome is success, then what are we fearing? There is no negative outcome, because you are only living in love. Love produces love. Fear produces fear. So if you live in the future and you live in fear, you will produce fear. You will not manifest the future that you want for your family, for your life. So stop thinking about it. Focus on the present moment right now and live in love. And enjoy the experience. Enjoy living in love. Because it's wonderful. It feels fabulous. It feels wonderful. So live in love right now so that you can continue to live in love for the future. And live in happiness. Alrighty. So that is it from me today. That was the last comment. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I know we've been here for the last couple of hours. This will be shared across all of my platforms. That is on YouTube, in the Frequency 51 group. If you found that you enjoyed this conversation and it really, really helped you, please do share it. Share it with people who you know will benefit from it. Because again, my energy is powerful. My energy is very, very strong when it comes to healing of your heart. When you hear my words, and Susan, you say, yes, you have made me strong and I appreciate that. Oh, bless you, sweetheart. And see, I have that energy. I have that strength. Now you're feeling stronger. So share it. Share it so we can help others feel that strength and others feel stronger so that they can help others again in turn to feel stronger. Right? And then you will literally see the transformation of the world. So I always say, if you can make a donation, great. Return that energy. Wonderful. If you can't, though, that's fine. Pay this information forward by sharing it and helping somebody else. Okay? Please share it. Alrighty. That is it from me. I'm going to have more lessons coming up and so forth. If you, and again, just as a reminder, I'm no longer accepting private messages just simply because I can't get through them all. So many people have been totally left for a very, very long time just simply because there's not enough hours in the day for me to bring out to you new content and bring out to you all of this stuff while still responding to all the messages. So if you have recently sent me a message and you haven't gained a response, I'm ever so sorry. What I would like you to do is please post that question or that inquiry, if you do feel comfortable to do so, directly on my page so that I can see it and so that I can respond to it. And so again, we can share the knowledge and the information. And if you do want private time with me specifically, please do go on my booking system, which is on my page as well. You can book yourself in, and then we can have private time and you can ask me as many questions as you like, and we can totally connect and we can explore all of the questions you have. So thank you so very much. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. And just as much as you appreciate me, I appreciate you. Because it's up to you to share this knowledge that you're getting. And if I didn't have you to share this knowledge, then I wouldn't be able to help as many people as I have been able to help so far and thus far. And thus that we will share and that we will grow. But anyway, okay, I've just been talking a lot. Mwah! Love you. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye, my sweets.